I wanted to show off my gorgeous Oncidium that's in bloom right now. I got this as a NOID gift that was on a great sale because it was out of bloom and it didn't have a tag. So that's practically a valueless orchid, you know. But a friend picked it up for me for $5 and gave it to me, and I've been waiting for a couple years to see it bloom, figure out who it is. I believe that it is a Gower Ramsey, but you can never quite be sure. It'll always be a no ID. I'm okay with that though, it's pretty cute. The little buds even before the flowers open are precious. This is an excellent example of why they're called dancing lady orchids. You can see this little skirt and this woman dancing, and she has her arms out. Quite joyful. Really great example of why that name. Here's the habit. It really likes to produce a lot of aerial roots. It likes to climb up and over itself. It is drooping. It is doing all kinds of annoying stuff. So I'll have to repot it at some point. And I might take this pseudobulb off and repot it to get a little bit more organized habit. I could potentially mount it. It sure seems like it wants to be mounted. Back here you can see just like the trail of roots. So it's kind of a silly grower. And apparently that habit is also really common for the Gower Ramsey, which is why I'm pretty sure that that's who I have here. So this one has been a fairly easy care plant for me. In the last couple years I've had it. When I first got it, my friend had potted it into like sand, thinking that was what a really fine-rooted orchid would want. She's a cactus person, so I think whatever you grow is what you think everything wants. So I took it out of the sand. It had no real roots. And I decided to pot it into tree fern fiber. And I'll show you what we have going on there. You got that tree fern. I just watered it. And it did take to that fairly quickly. Put several roots down into the pot. But still, I mean, this thing really just wants to grow aerial roots, and it seems like it just is not happy without climbing. So I'm going to have to consider that. Water before it gets super dry. You can see that I actually waited a little long to water this time. I just watered this morning, but we have some shriveling and that sucks, and I miss that, especially when it's in bloom. Sometimes missing that water can cause it to blast a bunch of the blooms, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But I keep it in a cabinet, but before that I did keep it at just household humidity. My cabinet isn't weather stripped or anything, so it's usually maybe 60 to 65% in here. But that's not entirely necessary for this one in my experience. West window, good light. Not a whole lot of really special care. It's an easy plant to grow. And it does make just incredible numbers of these little flowers. They're just so cute. So that is what I believe to be Oncidium Gower Ramsey. Nothing really special to say about this, which is kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because I think it would be a great orchid for someone looking to get into orchids. If you're kind of orchid curious, I'd definitely give this one a try. I do fertilize weekly with MSU right now is what it's getting, but it's gotten all different kinds of fertilizers and it doesn't seem to matter. And kelp and quantum once a month, as with all my other orchids. I do, on that note, make sure to use reverse osmosis water. I don't use my tap water for my orchids because it's super high and various salts, and we have a water softener, so I don't use the softened water on the orchids. They get the schmancy water. And I would encourage you to think about that too for all your plants, but especially if you're growing orchids. I hope you like it.